Well, the holiday is coming up. If you think about it, though, a holiday is always coming up. Want to avoid holiday conflicts with family and friends? Take control of the process. Over the past few years, my team and I have gathered data on where people learn their values. This is important because holiday and family conflicts often emerge as a result in a clash of values. Our work shows 5 clusters of learned values centering around specific categories of influencers. These include families, peers, religion, school, and mass media. Or as one researcher described it, parents, peers, preachers, principals, and the press. Most conflicts can be traced back to conflicts between and among these clusters. When families gather, the individuals who seem to be least affected by conflict are those who have come to terms with these influencing clusters and have developed a stable internal set of core values. It also helps if they have come with a big game plan. In these days of COVID, families may even argue about whether or not the family should gather in the first place. They have conflicts over whether or not, if you gather, should everyone be wearing masks. For examples, such conflicts may stem from family values for education and, say, religion. The value for education may have led to a degree in nursing with a belief that we have to take these variants serious. This value may be pitted against a religious value that people should commune and a belief that God will guide and protect us. These values are compatible. It might lead to a happy Thanksgiving Zoom dinner for a second year in a row. If they're not in sync, however, families might argue why someone did not attend the family function and whether they think they're better than us. To reduce family conflicts, first know what your values are and where the rubs will occur with others. You can take charge of gathering if you host by controlling the invite list and setting the ground rules. You can also take charge of a situation if you're not hosting by deciding in advance what your tolerance level is for conflict and having an appropriate escape plan. Better to plan for possible conflicts and have contingencies at the ready rather than hoping conflicts don't occur. A lot of magical thinking occurs around the holidays. This holiday, everyone will gather and just have a wonderful time, right? Yeah, right. In reality, you're mixing a divergent cast of characters with alcohol and the need to release a lot of built-up tension. Yeah, there could be some conflict. Rather than believing everyone will just somehow get along this year, have a strategy. Hopefully one that goes beyond, just don't talk about politics or religion. In my private practice, I have found there are no absolutely safe topics of discussion because every topic can get pulled into one category of values or another. To paraphrase a common idiom, topics don't cause conflict, people do. Another thing I found is that people tend not to experience higher levels of conflict if they feel their needs are met. So don't hesitate to ask your guests ahead of time, what do you need in order to have a happy and successful visit to my house? If you can provide what they seek, great, it should be a good time. If they start to engage in conflict, you can then remind them that their stated needs have been met, so stand down. If you can't provide what they need, don't hesitate to say, yeah, maybe you better sit this one out. You and I can catch up with a longer call just after the holiday. It will give us something to look forward to after the holidays subside. Finally, a conflict management plan is a wise tool to have at the ready. This can be as simple as knowing how to diffuse a conflict as it emerges. People do not like to think of themselves as angry, unreasonable, or out of control. When you hear tension starting to flare up through conversation between your guests, ask the angriest sounding person, John, are you upset? You sound angry about something. Our instincts are to deny our anger and to immediately start self-monitoring when our angry behavior is brought to our attention. By doing this, one simple thing, the temperature in the room should automatically start to subside if you catch it early. On the other hand, you cannot have a tango without a dance partner, so beware the other person doing or saying something, especially on a passive-aggressive level, that could get John going again. It is best to separate potential hazards like water and electricity or heat and combustibles, or John and Cousin Lily. When John says, no, I'm not angry, or even if in the rare instance where he might say, yeah, I'm getting pretty worked up here, just say, good, then you can help me in the kitchen, please, with the turkey or some other task. Other strategies are to turn down the alcohol and to turn up the football. Alcohol impairs judgment, so it should be monitored. Sports are all about conflict, but there are typically prescribed and socially accepted avenues for that conflict to be expressed and processed. Try as one might to plan for a great holiday gathering, there are times when a conflict will occur that just cannot be avoided. This is where you need to have identified in advance the level of distress above which you're not willing to tolerate. You also need to have a strategy for separating warring parties. For example, someone to separate the guests, someone to mollify each offended person, someone to escort offending parties to their car if you need. These people need to know their roles ahead of time. If you have contingency plans in place, you're less likely to experience big conflicts in the first place. If they occur, however, you will have your strategy in place to manage it. So have a party, and God bless us all everywhere.